Your 2022 Heroes Among Us Public Safety Category recipients, Alex Clark of Waterloo and Adam Whitmire of Waterloo.
That day in particular, it was kind of a rough day for me personally. I was just going through a rough day myself. Like, I was late to work that day. I think I had to take my son to work with me for a little bit that day, and happily his dad came and picked him up later on for me to get him off, so that he was not there all night. But on that night particular, around that time, I stepped outside for my break. I heard the noise, and I thought it was just like a firework. It's the Memorial Weekend, you wouldn't think anything of it. So I go in, there was a customer who needed my assistant. And so I went in and I assisted him. And then there's another customer that came in and said that someone actually had got shot. When someone said someone got shot, I'm like, there's kids over there. Like, I know there's children, so it could have been a kid, it could have been anybody. I go across the street, I take my apron off and I put it around his neck because the bandana wasn't giving him enough compression. So I'm holding it and I'm talking to him, trying to keep him alert.
It'd been a crazy day for us in law enforcement in Waterloo. It was a lot of things going on. We were unloading everything at the station, and me and the officer that were he was right next to me. I'm like, you got your keys on you, let's go. So we jumped in his car and drove right to the scene, and we were the first ones there, I believe. She was putting pressure on his wound, and we had, from where we parked, we had no idea what was going on or how bad the injuries were or anything. He had a gunshot wound to the neck and was losing a lot of blood. Within a few seconds of getting there and holding pressure, his eyes rolled into the back of his head and couldn't find a pulse, couldn't find any signs of life, so I immediately started CPR.
I ended up attending to his children and his wife to make sure that they were okay. She was hysterical. She was on the ground crying. Luckily there was other people around there to help keep her calm. So I made some phone calls around to find out, make sure that nothing happened, because my biggest fear was that he died in the process of being transferred. Luckily, that did not happen. He would come in and he would check on me and remind me, you saved my life. You really saved my life. It was not for you, I wouldn't be here.
I think what I did that day is what my coworkers would do in that situation. I had no idea who that gentleman was when I walked up. Doesn't matter. That's just the job.
Even if you feel like you can't do it, there's no such thing as can't. I teach my 6-year-old that word can't is not even a word. It's not in our dictionary and it's not in our vocabulary. You can do anything you put your mind to it. If I see something, I'm gonna say something. And that's another saying that they say, see something, say something. If you see something, don't be afraid to speak up. Forget if someone thinks you're a snitch, someone thinks that you're whatever they wanna call you, because at the end of the day, you did something right. That conscience in the back of your mind will always be clear if you do the right thing.
Honestly, I think what Alex did was better than what I did. Like I said, she's got no dog in this fight, so to speak. And for her to come out of the store, across the street, find this gentleman and do what she did right after a shooting, to me, that speaks volumes right there. What she did is above and beyond. She's absolutely worthy of this award.
Alex Clark and Adam Whitmire, your 2022 Public Safety Heroes Among Us.